Good listener, are you ready to play Is This Legal?
Let's do it.
Oh, yes.
All right, so as per the norm.
Yeah, what's this segment all about, Russ?
This is back to Jebediah. He is cruising along the road in his shiny new moto car one fine day. However, and he's sober and he's not hauling moonshine.
Good. Okay.
Like, everything looking good so far.
Good.
Except while he was trying to change his 8-track in his car. He
8-track?
8-track.
So the moto car
Moto
in
car
question
brand
came
new.
standard with an 8-track.
Standard with 8-track.
Well,
yeah.
you know, we know the kids like the retro these days, you know, so.
He takes his eyes off the road when he's doing it, though, and rear ends jumping Jehoshaphat, who was stopped in front of him.
Okay.
Now, they both exit the car, and they're both fine. There's no injuries. There's very minor damage to Jumpin's car. Jebediah's car is fine. They basically exchange insurance information, exchange phone numbers, and they say, all right, well, I think this is good enough. We'll make the claims. Let's each go on our way.
Sounds great.
Sounds great, and it was for about a week.
Okay.
But then, you know, Jumpin was just thinking about it, probably talking to the wrong people.
Right.
And
He does do that.
He does do that, and basically he says, you know what? I'm thinking, you know, maybe he's thinking he's going to go for a personal injury claim, but he says, I think I need to report this.
Okay.
So he calls Officer Cornelius, and he says, hey, we had this accident. You know, you may want to go talk to Jebediah about it. And so Cornelius does. He goes there, and he drives out to Jebediah's shack, and he pulls up, and he promptly issues Jebediah a citation for failure to report an accident. For leaving the scene of an accident and failure to report.
Okay.
A property damage accident. Jebediah immediately protests, and he explains that the accident didn't result in injury, that they both agreed to leave the scene, and it didn't need to be reported. Cornelius smiles and says, you can go ahead and tell it to the judge, Jebediah.
Okay. Dang,
So,
cruel.
Yeah.
He probably had a big smile on his face when he said that, too.
He smiled, yeah.
Was there an issue with the insurance? It was.
Nope, everything was fine.
It wasn't lapsed or anything like that.
Yep, so
Okay.
Jebediah goes to court, and he makes the argument in front of the judge that, hey, judge, there was an agreement, we exchanged information, no harm, no foul, please dismiss this.
Okay.
What is the judge to do? I mean, you look like a judge.
You do too. Looks like we walked into the right room today.
What would you do?
I first want to talk about the 8-track, just quickly. I mean, because, you know, I've noticed, Russ, that, you know, in the digital age, there's a trend toward like record players and even tape cassettes and stuff like that.
Stick it to the man.
I mean, you know, number one, this is just a rhetorical question for you listener. How many of you listening, I'll bet you're in your car. I'll bet you are. Do you have a CD player in your car? And when was the last time you had a car with a CD player? It's been about 5 years for me, Russ. And I've got all these CDs that I still have. You know, Harold Dubinsky, if you listen, he always gives me all these bootlegs and stuff. I've got a huge stack of them, but I don't listen to them. Yeah. And maybe we need to go back, Russ. Maybe we need to go back to cars where we can say, you know what, if I want to listen to a vinyl record in my car, we can do that.
I'm on board.
Seems like we have the technology.
Let's get some record players on the car.
Yeah.
Let's get away from digital.
Yeah, that's what I
like it.
say. Let's go retro.
Yeah, I like it. I'm in.
Enough about that. I guess it has nothing to do with the answer to this question, but we've definitely given, I think, people enough time to think about their answer here, right?
I think so. What's the answer, Colin?
Okay. So does Jebediah prevail with his argument? No, he does not, Russ.
Sorry, Jebediah.
That's a loss for Jebediah. He is guilty of leaving the scene of an accident without reporting it. Yeah. This is something that Russ and I decided to talk about because I actually do think there is some confusion in the general public about what you're required to do if you are in an accident. Yeah. Especially like if it's snowy and there's a lot of accidents, what do you have to do? Generally speaking, I mean, if it's like a love tap situation where there's no damage, yeah, you don't need to report that. Right. If everything looks good and the parties agree, just you're out of there. But if there is damage, you do need to report this accident. You need to call the police, at least make a report. You know, the worst thing, if you're in a hurry, you want to report it later that day, you just have to report it, and failure to do so is a problem.
Yeah, and basically, pretty much every statute, I mean, check the statute in your area, but pretty much every state is going to have a statute that says you have to report a property damage accident.
Exactly.
And like any other crime, you can't just agree to circumvent a crime, to not report a crime. You know, there's no affirmative
Yeah.
defense where, oh, everyone agreed, so we don't have
Yeah.
to report, like if it's an assault, right?
Jumping Jehoshaphat's willingness to not call the police at that day is not relevant to this
Right.
analysis. It really doesn't matter because it's not an intentional crime. You have to report this. It's a duty you have, and if you don't, you're violating.
Yeah, so there it is. So just comply, or else, you know, make sure you agree with someone more trustworthy than jumping Jehoshaphat.
Yeah, I mean, again, always run into the police.
I know, right? He's always dropping dimes on them. Like,
Yeah.
Jumping
I
is
don't like
just
that
no
guy.
good.
And yet I feel like he is a necessary character to illustrate our is this legal.
we don't want to
points.
kill him off.
No.
Like, you jump in, you're safe.
Maybe we should make this more interactive with our audience. But do you want to see like do we want Jebediah to get a new girlfriend? Do we want Cornelius to get a promotion?
I think people want to see more of Ezekiel.
We haven't done Ezekiel in a long time.
Long time.
All right. Good old Zeke?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's enough Is This Legal? Let's get back to our regularly scheduled programming. Hope you did okay at home. We'll see you next time, right back here on Is This Legal?
Legal.